warm welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning. I'm the senior taster of Whisky.com, and today we have an exclusive bottle for our company here on my cask. It's a Kilchoman Portuguese Brandy Finnish single cask bottling, and it was distilled in 2015 and bottled in 2025. So this year, quite new. It's 54.6 ABV, unchill filtered, uncolored, as Kilchoman is always, and at a price at Whisky.com for €108.50. Yeah, what do you get here? You get a whiskey from a farm distillery from the famous Isle of Islay. It's a peated whiskey with 50 ppm peat content in the raw malt, and this leads to a very smoky whiskey. And this one is firstly matured in an ex-bourbon cask and then transferred to a Portuguese brandy cask, and that's for a full 17 months. This is very long for a finishing period. And what is Portuguese brandy? Well, Portugal is very famous for its wines from the Douro Valley, as well as for their port wines, which are most often from the Douro Valley, and the city of Porto gives the name to it. And this port wine typically comes with a ABV of 14.5, 15 in the start, or in the finishing of the fermentation process, but port wine typically has 19 to 20, most often 20% ABV, and you reach that ABV by adding brandy. So you take the wine, distill it to a brandy, and then you add that brandy to the port wine to fortify the wine and bring it up to 20%. This is due to the historic reason when they shipped their wine over the seas for months and months through the hot climate. Then the wine typically turned bad, and the taste wasn't as it was expected. And when they increased the ABV above the typical strength, then the wine wouldn't turn over, and you get a constant quality due to this risen ABV. Well, and these brandies are matured in oak casks, as most brown spirits are, and those casks will then be available to the public, and Kilchoman bought some of these and let the whiskies from their ex-bourbon casks finish in those ex-brandy casks. So this is a very, not complicated, but a story you have to know why they do that. And this is a single cask in a cask strength. So the complete outturn had been, I read here, 228 bottles, which is typical for a American standard barrel, or for a barrique wine cask, which might be used as well. And this is the bottle 160 out of 228, and the cask strength 54.6. So they lost a little bit of alcohol, and the longer I read on this bottle, the more I think it's not cask strength. Nope, they reduced it to 54.6. No, it's not a single cask. Yeah. So it's very important that you listen to these videos and do not, for a longer time, and do not stop just after a few minutes where I told you it's a single cask. No, it's not. Yeah, here we go. Very good cork. Very fruity and then smoky. So they get the fruits first and very intense smoke afterwards. Yeah. And there is a little bit of a winey note in it already on the cork. So 17 months in a Portuguese ex-brandy cask is a very long time for a maturation, for a finishing period. Yeah. Light, cool, citrus notes on top, combining with the smoke, and smoke is now very intense. And after that, you get the darker fruits from the finishing cask, from the brandy, and the smoke is getting stronger and stronger. There's a little bit of a winey note in it, resins probably, sultanas. Yeah, so it's 54.6, and I need a little bit of water just to bring it down below 50. You see the legs on the glass. Yeah, a lot more friendly. Yeah, fruity, juicy, citrus fruits. Very, very good. Yeah, this is combining very well with a splash of water. Yeah, cheers. On the tongue, you get the impact from the smoke cladding your mouth. Then, after that, you get the oakiness, dark chocolate, slight bitterness on your tongue, juiciness, darker fruits, a little vanilla showing through. Wow. So what started very easygoing, very friendly and juicy when I diluted it, now has a very intense, slightly, cinnamon note, a little sharpness of cinnamon. Very intense aftertaste. Big smoke covering everything. I try to detect all the tastes below the smoke, because the smoke is very obvious in this one. And this is not this phenolic, stinky hospital smoke. No, this is more a bonfire smoke, a friendly, welcoming smoke, which very well combines with the juicy, fruity notes in it. My stomach is grumbling, hungry. Yeah. Yeah, this is something very special. It's a combination of a whiskey, of a spirit from grains, as well as a little bit from a spirit of grapes. This is the finishing period where the residue of the brandy is sucked out from the porous walls of the staves into the whiskey and gives this very little influence of these winey notes of the brandy. Yeah, very complex. The longer I smell now, there's vanilla in it. There's coming caramel showing through. But in the start, this is just this citrus fruitiness and intensity. There's official notes on the back. Notes of dark fruit and dried resins, cinnamon spice, smoked oak, and subtle peat. I have to admit the cinnamon I read before. Yeah. And then it says, yes, this is cinnamon. Palate, combination of citrus, dried fruits, and dark plum with warming sweet tobacco, licorice, and briny smoke. Licorice. Yeah, licorice. Finish, long-lasting balance of integrated peat smoke and rich fruits. Yeah, this is a big one. So, third time. Have a look at our shop at Whisky.com, where you find this exclusive bottle for our company, and catch you next time.